Hello everyone, welcome to another great adventure over here on RJB Wildlife. On this adventure, we are embarking on a new series as we are going to start observing some of the animals at both the San Diego Zoo and Safari Park, starting with the Hamadryas baboons. So if you're ready for another great adventure, let's go. So if you've been following along on the channel for the last year, you will know that the Hamadryas baboons are one of my favorites, not only because the habitats themselves are stunning, but they're a very interesting species that you get to observe here. However, the main reason they're going to be the focal point of this first observation is because a couple weeks ago, a baby male Hamadryas baboon was born, and right now he is stealing the show in these phenomenal habitats. I got some really awesome shots of the new offspring, and what makes it really cool is you kind of get to see some of the social behaviors of these animals, specifically the harems, the overall midwife behaviors of some of the other females within that harem. And it was really cool to watch as the baby was just kind of getting corralled into a group of females and they're all watching him walk around. So really interesting, but these animals are going to be very, very social and very strict from a patriarchal standpoint. Males are going to be very territorial, and they're going to form groups called harems, which is going to be anywhere from like 4 to 10 females that belong to that one male. They do get in skirmishes periodically, specifically between males as females are either taken or retrieved. This baboon species is native to Northeast Africa, specifically Ethiopia and even into the Middle East, such as Yemen and Saudi Arabia, which is indicative because they're going to be this white color with a pink face, which is very unique to this species of baboon. You don't really see that in other species throughout Africa, as the rest of them are kind of more of a darker pigmentation in the face. That's going to do it for this morning viewing, however. We are now going to transition to kind of check out some other things, but then we will be back for the middle of the day. So we are now over here at the Meerkat habitat, and I kind of just want to update a couple things here. It looks like they're not actually bringing the terrain or the dirt up to the glass like I was speculating they were. They have actually just redone that. What was a retaining wall is now a thematic and overall decorative mud wall, rock wall. Totally redone, looks natural. It actually looks phenomenal. But I was told today this is probably a couple weeks away from being completed. So give it some time, but the fan favorite meerkats will be back here in short order. So we're back here at the Hamadryas habitat, and activity seems to have quelled a little bit. So when activity is kind of low like this, especially in certain areas, now the good news about this habitat is you can kind of view it in a 360 fashion in different slots. However, when you camp a camera equipment somewhere, it takes a lot of patience and some time before wildlife starts to cooperate with you. So we're going to wait here a little bit, see if any activity actually pops up. They have been making their rounds in this area, but the baby is still up top and patience pays off. Now these animals are very social, so they're going to be very tight-knit. What you see in this habitat, or here at the San Diego Zoo specifically, is a clan. And it's just going to be a smaller subsect of baboons, which the big giant troops you see, which is what they're called troops in Africa, can range into the 500 individual range. Here at the zoo, there's only about 20, which is made up of about 5 or 6 different male harems, and they make their way around and just have their own little foraging sessions. The great thing about these habitats is that it showcases all of the natural behaviors. These animals are foragers by nature, so you're going to kind of see them go in these little parades and circles around the habitat and then pop in different areas and just start digging through the grass looking for all the food that is either dropped in there for them or that they just find. If there's one tip I can give you when viewing these animals here at the San Diego Zoo, it is do not look them in the eye. Primates outside of humans view that as a threat display, and what you will end up getting and eliciting is a bunch of dominance and threat behaviors exhibited by the males. So this male right here is actually exemplifying a lot of the behaviors that I'm talking about. When they display some of their territorial behaviors and threat behaviors, the initial response is a yawn. and that is going to showcase all of the fangs, the canines that this animal has. And if the yawn doesn't work, they'll start to resort to bluff charges. And the one male that initially does it will typically be ganged up by the other males that are trying to control the situation. Here in a clan, you're not going to see all that much, but within larger troops where you're not going to have that much of a family unit, you'll see a lot of that. So we are now over here in Lost Forest, and the zoo is currently in the process of introducing a new male Sumatran orangutan. His name is Labu. He came over to us from the Fresno Chaffee Zoo, and this is about as close as I can get to the actual habitat itself because this area is indeed closed. I have received word that the orangutan habitat is actually scheduled to reopen April 19th, which is this Saturday, so just a few more days. From what I understand, they are still integrating these animals, and the oldest female, Inda, has been giving some glares over to the new male. So a little bit of a growing situation here, but hopefully soon all of the members at the orangutan habitat will be integrated and sharing the same space. So we are now over here for the afternoon viewing for the Hamadryas baboons, and of course, they're gone. But that's okay. They will occasionally forage during the afternoons, and then as the light starts to subside, they will retreat and go into their sleeping areas. Now, when it starts to become the afternoon time, these animals will start to retreat. They'll start to want to hide away and make themselves feel safe from any threats that might potentially be out there. In this case, you're not really going to have that in a zoo environment. However, in the wild, they are going to be prey to things like African leopard and possibly even Ethiopian wolves. That's going to do it for today. If you had fun on this journey, please hit the like button. And if you would like to embark on future adventures, please consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell. And until next time, I hope to see you all again on the next adventure on RJB Wildlife.